Mm-mm-mm. Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? We're gonna cover this. Senate Bill 4 creates a state. Jenna. Senate Bill 4 creates a state crime for illegally crossing the border from Mexico. A new law that is likely to force a legal shutdown with the federal government. Jenna, you're being really loud. Senate Bill 3 earmarks $1.54 billion in state money to continue the construction of the barriers along the 1,200-mile border and allows the state to spend up to $40 million for state troopers to patrol Colony Ridge, a housing development near Houston. The far-right publications claim is a magnet for undocumented migrants. So you got SB3 to continue the construction of the barriers along the 1,200-mile border. And then you have money allocated to police to police this specific area. The money would be added to at least $1.5 billion in contracts the state has issued since September of 21 to build the 40 miles of border barrier. As of August, Texas had erected 16 miles of steel bollard barriers in Starr, Cameron, Val Verde, and Webb counties. The Senate Bill 4 creates the state crime for illegally crossing the border. I was reading earlier, it said that these guys can be shipped away the first time. They could be put in jail for 6 months, and it's like a class 3 misdemeanor. And then the second time, if they're caught again, they could be put in jail or prison for up to 20 years, and it's considered a felony. Immigrants' rights organizations, Democrats, and former immigration judges said the SB4 makes illegally crossing the border a state crime. It's unconstitutional because immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility. And the Democrats are basically saying that the Republicans are taking the due process away from federally governing things, and that Republicans are overstepping their boundary there because it's a federal process, and when you make it a state process, you are basically circumventing or overstepping your boundaries, and that should be against the law in itself. The problem that I see with that is the federal government has had every opportunity to fix this problem. The federal government has been warned, they have been begged, states have been pleading. There have been many, many things that have happened where the federal government has had every opportunity in the world to step forward and help out, and they have chosen not to do so. That's the reason why the Republicans recently said, well, then we're not going to give you any more money from Ukraine or to send Ukraine until you guys secure the border. That's just that. So Abbott took it upon himself to make it a state law so they can start getting rid of these people that are coming over illegally. The problem is, there's so many of them, you're barely going to see an impact. You're barely going to see anything change because there's so many people. There's thousands upon thousands of. You guys don't even understand how many people are still coming. When you see the aerial footage and the drone footage of people that are out there, like independent journalists and stuff that are in Mexico, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands. It's not. We haven't even seen the least of what's here yet. Yeah, Ron, I'm in Chicago. I know that. That was a huge news thing here that I just covered not too long ago, where he flew a plane of like 90 of them into Chicago. And then a couple of the buses from Texas dropped people off in Kankakee, Illinois, and then told the people to get off the bus at 4:30 in the morning. You're in Chicago, when really they weren't. They were an hour and a half south of Chicago in Kankakee, and the police had to bus them up to the OEMC headquarters to process in Chicago. And the buses have been dropping them out in the suburbs. So now the suburbs are creating legislation where they can go back after these bus companies, because no matter what, at the end of the day, basically what they're saying is, even though Abbott is doing what he has to do to bring awareness to this whole entire situation, it's actually causing more of a problem in the United States in general. And I understand that he can't take everything. Texas can't take the brunt of everything like they've been taking for years. Arizona, New Mexico, but by him busing them out and putting them in planes and shoving them all over the United States, it's actually making the situation worse, because it's creating more room for people to come in. And by it creating more room for people to come in, all we're doing is just filling these extra spaces and gaps. And with that happening, yes, it has drawn awareness, but it's actually creating a bigger problem overall, because let's just say Texas would have been overwhelmed and wouldn't have been able to handle it. That problem would have been concentrated mainly there, and not so much in the rest of the United States. And even though there are other sanctuary cities, and Governor Abbott is doing what he has to do to show of force, basically, in a lighter, more constructive way, it's actually creating more of a problem. And the federal government is not stepping up. They're clearly not getting the message. So it's one of those things where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And he has, and it's still not making the federal government budge. They're still sitting on their hands doing the same thing, saying if they do something about the border, it's basically going to piss somebody off, or it's going to make somebody unhappy, and they're not willing to do what it takes to secure the border. I was watching a documentary kind of thing today that was showing there are citizen groups that are actually on the border down in Texas, Arizona, and they are patrolling, armed, radios, satellite imaging. They are taking it upon themselves to run shifts to find these guys, trafficking people, trafficking drugs. The problem is, they have made so much money doing it, and they've made it so easy for these cartels to make money, in the Mexican government to make money, that they are just busing these people up to the border and getting them as close as they can, dumping them, not even doing exactly what they were paid to do, and saying, get out right here, and dumping them out just in the middle of nowhere, and then taking off and leaving these people. They showed a truckload, a couple truckload full of like 30 of them being dumped right at the border, and they were just randomly finding their way along the border wall until Border Patrol ran into them, and they were like, what the heck is going on here? Well, we were just dumped here. They took all our money, they robbed us, they took everything that we had, and they just dumped us here and said, find your way. So it's so easy for them to do this now. And the government, the cartels, everybody is in on it. The cartels even admit everybody's in on it. There's a lot of Texas residents that are in on it as well. They're harboring, they're accepting money and stuff. The cartels are working with the Texas residents to get them in there. The cartels are working with a lot of the apartment owners and stuff in El Paso, things of this nature, so they can pay them so much to put these people in their apartments, and then they make their money on top of what's going on. So it's not just a cartel problem. It's not just a smuggling problem, a human trafficking political problem. Now the people from Texas, Mexico, Arizona, they've now begun to rake in some of the money, and they're like, well, if we can't beat them, we may as well join them. And they're making money off of it too. So it's you can't win. It's bigger than what we think it is. It's not just the government. It's not just the cartels. It's actually American people from Texas doing the same thing. They're all part of bringing these people in and making money off the back of it as well. They see dollar signs and they're joining right in. And that's just how it is. When money is put in the face of people, good people, money itself, the green stuff, can make people do some very evil things. Nice people become very corrupt in the face of money. And that's exactly what we're seeing. If Texas Americans, Arizona Americans really felt that they were, stone cold, all American blood, stand up for what's right for America and stuff like that, they wouldn't be participating and aiding in what's going on, and they are. It all comes down to how much money can you offer me to be bad, and if it's enough, I won't feel bad doing it. And that's exactly, even Governor Abbott said our own citizens here in Texas are helping these guys do this, which is the sad part. I was told a story. My uncle is he's a bounty hunter. He chases people across the United States. Doesn't matter what color, who you are, where you're from. He'll even go into Mexico to pick you up. And he was telling me years ago that the right amount of money can make anybody turn their eye, at their ear. And he said we had we were after a Mexican dude out of Arkansas that was wanted for a lot of money, and he fled to Mexico, and we found out where he was in Mexico, and we had an informant in Mexico that we paid a bunch of money to find him, and he found him for us. And he was just over the border, about 10 miles in. And we showed up. We got into Mexico. We figured out where he was. We had a couple of the cartel members that were paid to help us, not do illegal stuff, help us catch the guy we needed. And they took us to the guy. They escorted us in. They took us to the house where the guy was at. We kicked in the doors of the home, found the dude, arrested him. The cartel members took us back to the border, and we $10,000 hired a private helicopter pilot to fly us from one side to the other, drop us off. We had vehicles waiting for us. We loaded the dude up and we took him straight back to Arkansas, and we processed him into the prison system, court system. And he said it's not hard at all, man. If you have enough money, you can anything you can make happen. So it's just a matter of what you're willing to do, how much you're willing to stick your neck out there, and it's all about Taylor Swift. Forget the migrants. I cannot stand that girl's voice. I don't like anything about that girl. They weren't dropping off plane loads at O'Hare. There was one plane that stopped at O'Hare. And then there were a couple buses that stopped out in the suburbs where they were told not to stop. And then they hightailed it out real quick. One bus already got impounded and fined, and then the driver put in jail or something like that. You would rather listen to a toilet flush than Taylor Swift? I feel the same way. This guy would rather listen to the toilet flush than Taylor Swift. I agree. They're doing that here. They're starting to, the migrants here in this area. So what they used to do is they would go to Home Depot. What they used to do is go to Home Depot, or they still do actually, and they pull on the door handles. Hey, knock it off. They pull on the door handles of people's cars, and when a door handle opens, they leave the door open, and then somebody else from the group of migrants that are standing in the Home Depot parking lot will come take your change, your money, whatever it is, tools out of your car, and they'll leave. And they won't come back for like a day or two. What they're doing in our neighborhoods now is they're doing the same thing. There'll be groups of like two, and they'll be walking the neighborhoods, and they'll go past somebody's car, and as they're going past somebody's car, they'll throw their hand sideways and they'll pull the door handle. They'll try to pop it, and if the door opens, they'll leave it open, and the next group coming behind them on that same street, they'll know that that's a tagged door to get in there and take people's stuff out of it. And they usually run in groups of two, and they walk the neighborhoods and they do that. One situation, there was a husband and wife team, or a male-female team in the Brighton Park area, where they were going from door to door, and they were asking people for food, for any kind of donation, like going right up to people's homes in broad daylight, just knocking on the door saying, hey, we're not from here and we're just looking for a little bit of help. Would you mind helping and giving us some food? Well, one of the residents came out and met him out front and said, get off my property. You don't have any business coming inside my gate. This is my property. You're trespassing and I want you off of here. Well, he got off of his property and then he went over to the neighbors and he was going to go into the neighbor's yard, and he told them, he said, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get off my neighbor's property. Leave him alone. Go find somebody else to bug. Why are you going door to door begging? And they were going through the neighborhood and they were trying to figure out what gates were unlocked and who was home during certain times of the day so they could come back and try to steal stuff. And that's what they were trying to do. They're not stupid. They're trying to figure out people's patterns. They're trying to figure out when people are home, when they're not home. They're trying to become like little specialists and stuff in the area where they're trying to figure out where they're going to reside, where they're going to steal, where they're going to make money.
I can't see. Yeah, I know. Come on, lady. When you make me talk, the more colors I'm not going to get.
Not sure if it's the new crowd. Could be some Mexican families and some black and white. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I know Brighton Park's getting real bad. People in the middle of in broad daylight, 6:30, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Garages getting broke into on the security cameras, seeing people climbing over their fence to get in their yard. It's been really, 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 really bad. I mean, every day I'm getting some kind of new video footage from somebody in the neighborhood saying, hey, the next time you do a video, this was my yard, this was my neighbor's yard, this is my car. 2 nights ago, one of the guys that brings his vehicle to me all the time that found me through YouTube, he sent me a video from his front porch and he said, pay attention to the F-150 right there. The skinny, looked like brown skin. I couldn't really make out who he was, but really tight clothes, runs down the street. He knows exactly what truck to go into, opens the driver's door. No, what is he? He busted the window out. That's what he did. He busted the window out. He went through the driver's door. There was a bag of tools in the back seat. Stole the tools from the back seat, closed the door, and then took off. And this guy said, this has been happening all over my street right here. There's these like skinny, dark-skinned, brown people. They don't look like they're black or white. And they've been breaking into people's garages, their cars, but we can't identify who they are because a lot of the cameras in that area at night, they don't see very well, or first thing in the morning. The best thing to do is keep no purses, no food, no change, no tools, no nothing in your car. Keep your car completely empty so when they look in it, they don't see nothing that they can take that's of value. It doesn't matter if it's a toothbrush. If they see it in there and they need it, they'll break it, they'll steal it. Take everything out of your car, leave nothing in your car. I just had a guy the other day tell me that he's leaving here and he's going to Ontario. And I asked, why are you leaving here to go to Ontario? And he said, well, it's like this. It takes a long time to get your green card legally here. And I'm not here legally. But if I go to Ontario, he pulled out his ID and he said, I'm already a registered resident. And I just went there 3 months ago and I'm already a registered resident. I'll have my green card in no time. It's very, very easy in Canada to get your paperwork and become a citizen. Here in the United States, it's not as easy. So he said, I'm packing all my stuff up here. I haven't even been here that long and I'm going right to Ontario. In the next couple months, I'll be good to go. So a lot of people are making it into the United States and they're seeing that it's really difficult here, and then they're trying to leave here and they're actually trying to go up to Canada because it's easier to get stuff handed to you. It's easy here, but it's even easier in Canada. Canada has a huge problem right now with neglecting their own citizens to take care of foreigners that are not from there. I remember a couple years ago, I was talking to a lady on one of the keto groups, and she was from Canada, and she said that there were more and more Middle Eastern people moving into her neighborhood. They were buying up the apartment buildings. They were buying up the strip mall stores, the little smaller ones, mom and pop style. They were buying up the businesses. More and more of them ended up as teachers in the schools. So eventually, over the years, a lot of the property became Middle Eastern owned. The businesses were all predominantly Middle Eastern owned. And then the teachers, probably 50-60% of them were Middle Eastern teachers. And it became very uncomfortable to live in that neighborhood because there were more fights, there was more aggression. The children are taught completely different. They're much more disrespectful. Her son got beat up because he was wearing a Marvel comic shirt, and it had like some aggressive like stance on the front of it with one of the Marvel comics, and it was like 4 Middle Eastern boys that grabbed their son on the way home and beat the crap out of him, bloodied his nose, ripped his shirt off of him. He went and told his mom what happened. The mom went to the school, told the school what happened, and identified 2 of the boys. And the school did nothing about it. Nothing. Because if they would have, it would have shown, they would have spun it as some kind of bias or racism or prejudice or something like that, even though it would have been right for them to do something about it. So this problem with being partial to immigrants and people from other countries has been going on for years now. It's just now we're getting flooded by specific entities, but we've had this problem for a long time. You dress and look poor in public. I do the same thing. I don't dress in nice clothes. I try not to even own nice clothes unless it's just a couple of shirts and a pair of pants or whatever for me to actually go to a function that look decent. I don't want people to know I have anything. I don't want people to know that I'm okay with money, that I can donate, that I can do these things. I don't want them to know any of that stuff about me, so I don't dress like I'm anything. You're a millionaire and you drive a 2003 Crown Vic. Well, Big Worm, show me the way. I'm ready to follow. So, I don't know, guys. I've recently upgraded to more comfortable concealed carry stuff. So now, baggier clothes that I can pull my shirt up and I can quick respond if I need to. I've been doing a lot of dry fire stuff, a lot of practice stuff. I got one of the, what'd you call it, the Fat Boy safety belts that carry 2 mags now, and it has a holster in the front of it, so it's very comfortable to wear. And when you pull out, it doesn't snag and pull up everything. So I have really lately been paying attention to a lot of stuff that's been going on. And here's the thing, though, is a lot of people think this thing that Abbott put into effect is going to go into effect right now, and it's not. From what I've seen, it won't be into correct me if I'm wrong, but I seen something about March of 2024. So they got the next 4 months to basically, or 3.5 months to do whatever they want, trying to get in here before that law becomes an effective law.
No, I can do whatever I want.
So with us, getting between 10 to 15,000 illegals a day, just in specific areas, more than that actually overall, by the time March rolls around and that law is going to be in effect, probably most of the people that are on the way here are the damage is already done. And you know what? This is the first year that I've ever seen it. Tomorrow it says it's supposed to be 58 degrees in Chicago. December, 58 degrees. Christmas time. This ain't helping us any. Mother Nature, she ain't helping us any. I was hoping it'd be like 10 degrees outside. Run them back. Stop them from coming in. I appreciate that, DT. Yeah. See, even like you said, it's 33 degrees in Colorado. It should be colder than that this time of year. We're just in a today was warm. Today was nice. All you could go out with just like a light sweater. You didn't even need a jacket or anything today. I think today was like in the 50s or. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping it would freeze here. I was hoping to get 0, negative, like some of the winter, like the vortexes and stuff that we've had, and it'd be like freeze them out, freeze them out. "65 in Florida for you guys. That's probably pretty cold." Yeah. See, northern Minnesota should be colder than that. And those of you that are in states where they're going to remove Trump from the ballot, what you guys need to do is you need to write him in. Write him in. Naito, 1911, 10 plus 1 plus 3. Ah, mine's 17 and 1. Glock, 4.5, Gen 5, 17 and 1. We're not supposed to be carrying more than 10 rounds, it says. We're only supposed to have, the new law says 10 round magazines, and it says that by the January 1st of 2024, everybody needs to have specific capacity, this and that, and specific types registered in the state of Illinois with the state police. And they said less than 1% has registered. Everybody in the state of Illinois basically said, no, we're not doing that. You guys already know who we are. You already took our FOID and our information and stuff when we bought the stuff that we bought. So why would we need to do this all over again with you? No, not happening. Ah, I see. Is extended. I see. Yeah, the new Valvoline oil. I didn't get a chance to see the new Valvoline oil. I know I think somebody told me what it is. It's going to replace the Advanced, but I'm not sure yet. But when I put my hands on it, I'll let you guys know. We have a lot of illegals in Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah. No, what they want. Stumblefoot, what they want is they want them to engrave a serial number in anything that's more than a 10 round capacity. Needs to have a serial number, and it needs to have a quantity of the serial number 1, the serial number 1, the serial number 1, or whatever it is, or this serial number on all of these, 30 round capacity, registered with the state. Everything needs to have a serial number and registered. Even things without serial numbers need to have them engraved and registered. What is this guy saying? Karen killer, that this whole shit show is a joke. You're a joke. Nothing going on here but protected, entitled, white, privileged Karen City Karens. Whatever, dude. Loser. Fucking loser, man. Well, they're doing more than that, Grace. They're giving them driver's license. They are getting social security cards and work permits. And what will end up happening is they will end up garnishing the right to vote. I appreciate that, Connie. Thank you. you don't see the spam comments because my moderators are they're on it. They take care of it right away. They're watching everybody's comments because they don't want this channel to get banned because of some. I think a lot of people think their freedom of speech is the freedom of speech to me and you, and it's not. That's what people don't understand. Your freedom of speech is between you and the government. It's between you and the government when you need to voice what you're not happy with and what needs to change. Your freedom of speech is not between you and me. If I don't want to hear what you have to say, I don't have to listen to it. That's my free will and my choice to say, that's nonsense. I'm not listening to it. Get it out of my life. The government can't do that because you technically own them. You pay them. You don't pay me and own me. So I don't have any obligation to listen to what somebody else is saying. So people say, oh, free speech, free speech. You shouldn't suppress anything here on this channel. Well, if I don't do that, and some people are saying some of the ignorant, nasty things that they could get this channel banned or taken, something bad could happen here. And I don't want that. So my guys, I don't even tell them what to do. They just know what's right and what's wrong, and I trust them, and they take care of it from there. I don't micromanage my moderators like some other creators and stuff do. I trust them to do what they want because they care about me and they take care of the channel, and that's just how it is. Yeah, right. Yeah, we can. We can own them. I mean, this is concealed carry license. Firearm identification card. And those are two old ones. It's since been updated by the new one. And if you look on the back here, Firearm Service Bureau. So those two that I just showed you, they're not even relevant anymore because they sent us a new updated one, and they took the FOID and the concealed carry and they put it in one license now with no expiration date. It just says CCL yes, firearms owner identification card yes, and then it says that's it. Just has your info with no expiration date now. Yeah, Jerry, I just showed you. We can. I have insurance. Herman, hey buddy. Anybody that's here right now, there's 489 of you. Trust me, if you've already thought of it, I've thought of it. So I don't need to be warned on what to say and what not to say. Let's not play mommy and daddy with me. I'm not the guy for that. I'm really not. I got a mommy and daddy, and none of you are that. Let's just keep it straight with each other, and don't say certain things to bring up certain topics if you don't want the drama or the smoke. Let's just keep it at that. I was in the service, so whenever I went to go get mine, I didn't have to do the same amount of classes that everybody else did. I only had one day. I had to go for like the law part and the actual qualifications. 30 on 30, done. You're finished. That was it. Hippie cowgirl, demonetize your channel and you don't have to worry about comments. Nah, I'm good. That the money that I make from this channel goes to helping other people as well. Plus the time that I put in and I hang my neck out on the line. So if y'all don't like it, go on somewhere else. That's all I got to say to you. You want to start problems, then you'll be removed immediately. And that's just how it is. And there ain't no room for discussion on that. Human child of God, I enjoy listening to you. You're intelligent. I agree with 99% of what about this immigration situation, but I can't for Trump. He has disrespected those of us served. Let me ask you this right now, human child of God. Those of us who serve, so you put yourself in that category. Since when did your skin become that thin? To where a few words from a man that is just as normal as me and you, that have said bad things about other people that we shouldn't have said, has gotten under your skin that much to where you can't stand a person, you can't vote for them, even if everything that they do is right, because they've said some things, a few words, it's got under your skin so much that you can't get beside yourself and realize for the greater good this is what you should do. I would think if you put yourself in that category with those of us that have served, you would have gotten thick enough skin to realize people say stupid stuff sometimes. Doesn't mean it's always true, doesn't mean it's not the heat of the moment. Who knows what was going through the man's head when he said it, if he did say it, in the context that people claim that he said it in. But at what point are you going to wake up and realize you're better than that? You don't have to dwell on that. It's a few words that somebody said. Let's look at the stock market at the time. Let's look at jobs, the economy and stuff. Let's look at what he said he was going to do and he did. Let's look at the fact that there were 4 years with no wars going on between anybody. Let's look at all the peace treaty, the peace back and forth between all the countries and stuff that was there. There was nothing going on. It was a peaceful place. A few words I could give up about. Who cares? Move on about your business. You know what's right, and you're going to do what's right. Because if you did serve, you're going to vote. DJT 2024. Hmm? You can say hi.
Yay! Bye! Bye!
What's up, Zero? Right. Just like Grace said, you ain't got to marry the man. America needs him. America knows that they need him. People that never would have thought about even voting for him are now like, man, I was so wrong. I should have just did it. I should have just listened. I should have studied more. I should have figured more out. I should have took the bias of trying to find somebody my color or my party or whatever it is, and I should have went for the stronger candidate, the one that was actually going to benefit America more. Who thinks waiting until March to start enacting this law? But his tweets are so mean. Who cares? Let him tweet. So are Musk. So are a lot of other big name celebrities and stuff like that. Who cares? How many times have I got into altercations with you guys that have literally been on this channel for years and we've had words with each other, but the next day we're fine? It happens. You don't like something I say, but I've known you for a while. You voice it. I voice what I got to say to you, and we go on about our business. That's just life. That's what men do. If you got a problem, you handle it. If you don't have the means to handle it, it doesn't have to get physical. If you want to get physical, it can get physical too. But you voice what you got to say, you move on. If it's right, it's right. It's wrong, it's wrong. I've said some stupid things before and had to come back and apologize to people for it because it was in the heat of the moment. People do stuff like that. Darlene, when he gets in again, he'll do the same all talk, made promises, delivered. Are you talking, Darlene, you ain't talking about Trump. That's for sure. You must be talking about somebody else. I'm not sure if yeah, I would say you're right. JS, you're definitely right. The righteous flipper. So you are saying that Mexico made a decision for their own country in the 1800s that affected their immigration issues? You'll see I voted twice for him. I don't understand what you're talking about. You're saying the man didn't keep anything he said. All he did was do exactly what he said. There was very little he couldn't get done. And he did it. So I don't understand what you're talking about. What you're saying doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's because you're mad about what's going on and he didn't actually fix or be able to continue to fight for us because we weren't strong enough to make sure it didn't happen the way that it did. Or if you're misinformed in some kind of way. But I mean, I would say voting for him is the right thing to do.
How many guards do you have? Two.
All he did was fight and have something on his back the entire time. That's all he did. And even after he was president, he's been fighting for us for years. Fighting phony accusations and things and people indicting him left and right. And what does he do every single time something happens or whatever? Walks right out just like this, like head down, still optimistic though, still fighting for Americans, still showing us that you can still be strong through everything, and the man is still free. After everything that he's been through, the whole time he was president, and then after being president, he's still moving forward, nonstop, in the media all the time, trying to slander his name all the time, and they still can't get him. Oh, watching you from the trap. You know, it's one of those things where some of you are going to feel uncomfortable making the decision that you're going to make when it comes voting time. But you know what you need to do. You know that whatever you do, do not vote a Democrat back into that spot. You know that. The black community knows that. The Hispanic community knows that. The Asian community knows that. The white community knows that. A Democrat just needs to not be in that spot whatsoever. At least for a little. We need a little reset. Now, if it was a Democrat from back in the 80s, okay, I would take that all day. Because they actually believed in rule of law and not giving stuff out and hard work and everything. Today's Democrats? Nah. I mean, for God's sake, we got Democrats in office that are talking about we need to be governed by Sharia law and that every tongue will, or every head will bow and every tongue will confess to one specific religion and say, no, that's not American. That's not people that we need running our country. Oh, SMS. You're a strong person, Mike. Yeah, I mean, if I find out that we can't vote for Trump, and that is what it is, then I will vote for Vivek. But I'm hoping for a Trump Vivek win. If Trump's not or can't by some way, shape, or form, and we know, then I will vote for Vivek. Oh yeah, Guapo. As a veteran, we know what time it is. Absolutely, I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready. But I'm not saying nothing yet until I'm ready. Yeah, just like you said, we can write Trump in, and that's what I'm gonna do. Should I let them out or no? Okay. Vivek gives you snake oil salesman. Yeah, I bet.
I would like it to be yellow. That's very, very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ryan. You shouldn't be able to take anybody off of a ballot for voting. You're blatantly taking away Americans' right to vote for who they want to vote for. You like the paint in the kitchen? This paint is it's Lilo and Stitch color, the Stitch blue.
What color is it?
If a Democrat wins, there's gonna be a problem. I can tell you that. There's gonna be a major problem because we know we 100% know if a Democrat wins, we know we 1,000% know we got a rigged election. 1,000. I don't know a single Democrat right now that said that they would vote for a Democrat coming up. Not a single one.
Come on. Can I do 4 plus 2? No. What about 5 plus 1?
Trump Abbott? Trump Abbott. I don't mind the sound of that, but I want to know more about Abbott being on the World Economic Forum as one of their people. I want to know what that's all about. I need to learn more about that. Say, bro, looks like he's gonna punch my ass out through the TV. No, man. Nah, not right now. Not right now. We might have time for that in the future, but it won't be you. There's a lot of ladies that like men with no muscles because they feel like they can push them around, so they kind of like that stuff.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
So many times we played. You are always a
Where y'all from? 519 people here. Where are you guys from?
cheater.
Let's call it we got about 5 more minutes on here, then I'm gonna jump off. I just wanted to get on here and say happy holidays to you and talk to you for a little bit. Where y'all from? Wisconsin, Canada.
No.
Quad Cities.
That's a lie. Well, they will understand. They will ignore that we're having fun.
Oh, he's jealous. He's jealous. He's jealous. Are you jealous of them? Are you jealous of them? Hmm?
You can do push-ups
Hey.
of this. You're like,
Are
no.
you jealous of them? Hmm?
Ow. Hayden.
That dog was the dog that was just on Facebook. The lady needed help taking care of it because it got loose in the neighborhood. And then we contacted the family that owns the dog, and they never came to pick up the dog, so we just kept him. We kept him, and now he's a family member of ours. A lot of Florida. A lot of Florida people here. Pate, here's the other one. Come here, Pate. Come here. Come here. This is the other. This my fiance. She rescued her, adopted her years ago. Years ago. She's a little over 3 years old. She's a little over 3 years old. Here,
4
buddy.
years old.
Huh?
She's 4.
4 years old. Sorry, 4 years old.
She's like, love me like you never had before. She's like, I'm a kitty.
Dennis, love you too, man. Merry Christmas.
Big butt. I'm a cute eyes.
Ryan said hello to the family.
Hello, Ryan.
Said hello. That wasn't an invitation for you to come on camera with this many people on here. Hey, I know. You said hi already.
I like saying hi.
I know.
Ooh, can I open a present? Can I open a present? No.
We have a cat.
Yes, you can.
She's got those like 14, 15 years old. And
No, not you.
she's about 14, 15 years old. And recently just had to put her on thyroid medication. But she's doing good. She's doing real good.
No, this is for me. Can I shake it? Sure. Give it up.
What did this guy say? Did you guys see?
What?
No, not you guys in there.
Oh.
Did you guys see the video footage of Poland today? They showed the outskirts of Poland being lined with sea wire, and the military and the police were on the other side of the sea wire, and the illegals were taking and pushing down the trees, and they were trying to take the small thin trees, like 5 or 6. Get rid of this dude. Who is this dude right here? Yeah, we're just spamming this circles all across the screen. What a weirdo.
Well, once
But Poland, the police and military in Poland had a standoff with these people. And they were like out in the forest area and stuff. And the police and the military were standing there on guard with their batons, their shields, and everything else, like hundreds of them. And they had long, thin trees, and the illegals were picking up the trees and trying to ram them through the sea wire into the police officers and stuff. And the police officers were spraying the hell out of them with OC spray or something like that. I didn't even know that stuff was going on. I had no clue that they were fighting like that over there. I mean, it was watching these people just go right at the police like it's no big deal. I was like, oh my God, they don't care. They literally don't care. And the thing is that these people don't even need weapons to do it. They don't even need weapons to do it. These people that were fighting the Polish military and police, they were just picking up trees and just 5 or 6 people at a time using them as battering rams and just trying to ram them right through the police and the military. Merry Christmas to you. If they try that in China, Michael, me and you both know what would happen. It'd be just done. Done. Just done. They wouldn't even have a chance. What are you doing? You want to play? Is that what you want to do? You want to play? All right, wait a second here. The righteous flipper. That's the difference between us and them, though. I hope you and these guys are not calling for that. We are better than that. We are Americans. Flipper. Remember that lane that we don't cross? What's up? Okay.
Said I want to know.
Cheated. Anyway.
I did not cheat. I'm very, very good at games. Drop it. Don't think about the sandwich. Drop it.
I was second AC. I was down in Louisiana,
Go potty.
10th Mountain. Disbanded second ACR.
Pray then. Go, go.
And they made us 2nd Brigade, 4th Infantry Regiment. Flipper. Okay, I get what you're saying. Let's not cross into that conversation right now. This YouTube chat is not ready for that. And we're not going to do that right now. I'm trying to get the message across to you. I know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's nix it right now. Don't bring it up. Let's just chill. It's all right. I know what you mean. No, we cannot cross that line on here.
Stay with me. Here, here. Here. Stay with me. Stay.
Yes, Trace, I was in the Army. 2nd Brigade, 4th Infantry Regiment, deployed to Iraq 2006 to 2009. 15-month deployment, and yeah.
Go get Dad a kiss. Go get Dad a kiss. I need your leg legs.
Adamia, so just south of Baghdad, Fob Falcon, Adamia, and then up north, just outside of Sadr City, up north of Baghdad. That's where I was at.
Come here, people.
Was attached to 1/3 ID for a little bit, and mainly stayed with 2nd Brigade, 4th Infantry Regiment, Delta Company Heavy Weapon Squad. I was a basically a grunt, but forward observer is my job title. Call for fire, direct fire, any kind of fire assets like that.
Okay, I need your back now. Go look at Dad. Where's Dad? What are you doing, girl?
What are you doing, baby?
Girl.
You're welcome. It was an honor to serve this country.
Give me this foot. Girl.
Ted Zeal, good night. Merry Christmas to you. If I don't see you tomorrow, thank you for being here. First EOD, Sadr City was my playground. Yeah, Sadr City wasn't a. I remember right when we first got there, we were you know how we do right seat ride, left seat ride. So the unit we were taking place of, we were doing right seat ride, left seat ride, and one of the sergeants, I see his face was kind of messed up down by his jaw, and part of his neck. There were some burn marks that had like kind of scabbed over, and he had some patches on. And I asked him what happened, and he was like, well, we were going through an area that wasn't cleared just outside of Sadr City, and a mech unit hadn't been through it yet. And when an EFP went off, part of the blast went, instead of it going straight forward, it took out the XO, took his head off, went through the truck, and it kind of went up, kind of like up in the air a little bit. Some sprags came off of it, got me in the neck, got me in the face, but the front of the truck took all the impact and killed the XO in the front seat immediately. And they didn't have clearance to be there, and they were going to go through there anyway as part of a route to move through a sector easier and faster. And the XO got killed, blew the front of the truck up, messed up the gunner real bad. I'll see you upstairs. Love you too. So,
Good night, my love.
good night.
Good night, Jenna.
So yeah, Sadr City. Even still to this day, I don't think anybody's been through and cleared Sadr City completely. It never happened. When we were there, they said they don't ever plan on completely going through there because they know how many people would probably die if they went completely through and cleared everything. So at the time when I was there, they never completely cleared everything. Later, Flipper. Have a good night. Merry Christmas if I don't see you tomorrow.
You're a sore loser. Sore loser.
Then there was another situation right at the end when we were right seat ride, left seat ride leaving. It was one of the last few patrols, and some people that normally didn't get to go on the convoys wanted to go. They wanted to get some action. So one of our supply sergeants wanted to go out. He wanted to go on a full patrol with us and stuff. And on the way back, there were a set of bridges, and they use them as trigger points. They can basically see how fast you're going, and they know exactly where they have certain devices set up. There were some new people on the patrol. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were doing their job. But they used the gap in between the two bridges as the trigger point to speed that we were going to figure out when to detonate. And as the middle truck was going past the area that they wanted to trigger, or that they wanted to target, they set it off, and a T-barrier imploded outward and flipped backwards and peppered the side of the truck of the supply sergeant, and blew out the run flats. So they went down to the run flats, busted the windows out of the side, peppered his face. He had like little marks, little shrapnel pieces all down the side of his face, and he was just dripping down onto his chest real lightly. And a lot of the people from that convoy did not even get Purple Heart for reacting to contact. And they reacted to contact, but then had to call ceasefire because they didn't know where they were. They knew they were shooting in an area, but they didn't know what they were shooting at. And our unit was so ate up with stuff that was going on when we were over there that a lot of the guys that were supposed to get Purple Hearts, that were supposed to get specific medals and stuff like that, they didn't even get them. Thank you for the super chat. So, yeah, it was a rough time. There were officers doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. Officers wanting to be dropped off in villages and stuff where there were, Iraqi girls that they found fascinating and beautiful that would do stuff for money or just do it because it was an American. And there were some things that happened over there that I see that I'll never talk about. Some things I will, some I won't. It's just a matter of if you weren't there, you'll never know. Stumblefoot news. One of the most gruesome things that I've seen while I was there was it was a man that they took, that they had Sunni versus Shia. They had some sectarian violence stuff going on all the time there. They were always trying to hurt each other, and we were kind of getting in the middle of it. They weren't really ever targeting us directly. It was them versus them. And basically, they had taken the man and pulled his ankles to the back of his head and strapped his neck with like some type of wire, some thin wire, and strapped his ankles to the back of his neck. Basically broke his hips at the joint, strapped his ankles to his neck, gagged him, beat him in his stomach until he was thrown up on himself, and then had him in like a burlap sack, tied him up, and he basically choked to death on his own vomit. They tortured the guy, and they left him in a landfill garbage pit. So we had to pull security while the Iraqis moved in to remove their own body, because it was like, because of the situation and how the body had to be handled, it would be dirty if an American touched it. Only an Iraqi should be able to remove the body from the area because of specific religious this and that I don't understand. So thank you for the super chat, by the way, Lama. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Big Worm. We had a mission that we moved in on multiple leaders from multiple areas, dozens and dozens and dozens of them, plus the people that lived in the area that were part of the insurgency, were all in this one building. So multiple units from multiple divisions, and we're all part of this. It was a joint effort. And we all moved in on this one location at the same time, dismounted, moved in. People were hurt, people were injured, aircraft on station kind of thing. We arrested over 300 people, and we brought them all back to the compound for processing, just north of Baghdad, outside of Sadr City. And these people were so disrespectful. I went out I was tasked with duty to actually take out the afternoon. It has to be like kosher or something like that meals. They have to have specific meals that the military ordered for them. And I'm out there trying to figure out if they want water and if they want food, and they're kicking the stuff out of my hand and then spitting on me. So finally, I got to like the end of the second row, and I had somebody helping me. He was standing right next to me. Try to pass out the meals and stuff, just two of us at a time for security reasons. And when he went to do that again, I dropped the food that I had in my hand, and I punched the dude square in the freaking jaw. Busted his lip, bleeding down his mouth. And then I grabbed him by his shirt, and I'm screaming in my language, "Do it again, do it again," like that, really loud. And I picked the stuff back up, and nobody else that we were going up to said a thing. They didn't act it like an idiot or anything at all. But out of those people that were there, I bet you a good solid five of them, five to let's just say 5 to 7, 5 to 8 of them were all HVTs. Like some of the top 10 or top 15 most wanted in Iraq that were in the Tigris system. So when we go by and we're using the computer to thumbprint, get the retina and stuff, and log them into the system, many of them came back as HVTs that the military had been looking for. And one of them was like the number 2 guy on the list. And because of the severity of the situation and who we found out we had, they ordered us to let them go. They ordered us because they said that you would have more of a problem on your hand if you kept them there. You need to let them go. Let them go back to wherever it is. Get them out of there. So we couldn't even keep the people that we identified as HVTs because of political higher-ups telling us exactly what to do. We had a situation where the first 3 months of being on base in Fob Falcon, we were bombed for like 3 months straight. Q-36, Q-37 radars going off constantly. Incoming, 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 incoming. You could be leaving the gym, you could be leaving the bathroom, you could be leaving the shower, out of nowhere. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Picking up incoming rounds. Just for 3 months straight. What we found out, the Blue Force tracker pinged a location on the base when they had a drone up pinging for cell phone signals, and a cell phone signal went out right before the mortar started hitting the base, and it pinged a location right on the base, and it was 2 female interpreters. They were like twins, 19, 20 years old, and we converged on that location and arrested those girls. And the girl was taking the phone and she was taking a condom and putting it around the phone and then shoving it up inside her to hide the phone. And she would call on the phone to help whoever was on the outside of the base call the rounds in closer to the trucks in the buildings. And that's how she was helping them direct fire, another 10 meters, 20 meters north, another, 10, 20 meters east, and you'll be right on the aid station or right on the motor pool. And we arrested those girls and took them out to the Iraqi National Guard, real far away from the base, And they took those two girls in the back of that compound, and we never seen those girls again. We don't know what they did to those girls. What is my favorite memory of 2023? My favorite memory of 2023 was calling up the dealership and letting them know, because of the circumstances and how everything went, I will not be coming back. I will be pursuing a career somewhere else. Yeah, so that was my favorite moment of 2023. The relief of not having that stress and the burden of somebody else controlling me anymore. The relief of not being held hostage by politics from a corporate level, and being able to work directly with the customer and more intimately with the customer, and learning how to hone my communication and management skills even more, to be put in a position to where now I'm responsible for other people, and I can choose to do the wrong or the right thing. And now that power and that option is in my hands, I love being able to do the right thing, being able to just take care of people and make sure the things that I seen happen are not happening to my guys or my customers. Vicky, you don't see the comments flying by? If you hit the little box on the bottom of the screen, the little chat box, and then go to live chat, all messages, it will show you all of the messages that people are talking. What happened at the dealer? They closed the dealer down while I was on workman's comp. One of the employees fell into me and stretched out my ACL, my MCL, and re-injured what the military had already fixed. I appreciate that, Canadian. Vicky, were you able to, now do you see the comments popping up? Merry Christmas, y'all, make it count. We never know when yeah, you're right. Judy, you're right. Cheap rolling. I'm back. Yeah, I didn't know what he meant by that. Why, by what kind of American are you? I'm not sure what that comment means. Is my leg permanently messed up, or is it more of a temporary thing? Also, did anything happen to that one employee that injured your knee? He's just an old man. He retired and he had a hip replacement. He was carrying a box that was kind of too heavy for him. And as he was walking past me, he tripped over the carpet and couldn't, and I grabbed his head before his head hit the ground. But in the process, it hit me, hyperextended my knee. As I was going to fall over, I grabbed his head so his head didn't hit the ground, and it happened right in front of the service manager. So they were like, oh, wow, crap. And the next day, my knee kind of started to go out on me. I was actually on a flight headed to Vegas for the SEMA show, and when I was getting off the plane, my knee, that same knee, had swelled up a little bit and was kind of achy. As I was getting off the plane, it just went right out from underneath me, swelled up like a grapefruit. The doctor said the ACL is partially torn, the MCL was really swollen, it like inflamed, a lot of fluid around that area, and that physical therapy would make it a lot better. but eventually within the next couple years it's probably going to go. And he said, what I'd really like for you to do is focus on losing more weight. You're too big. And he's right, I am too big. So I started like the carnivore diet back again a couple weeks ago, started losing a bunch of weight. Then the holidays hit. She started making all cookies and stuff for work and employees, and I'll have a little nibble here and there, and the next thing you know, it's a whole cookie, and then it's two cookies, and it's like, man, all over again. Just making the wrong choices the last couple days, and I've been doing so good up until the last couple days. I appreciate that super chat. My back hurts. But it seems like the holidays are the killer for me. If there's no holidays and there's no nothing like that going on or no special events, I can go straight through. I won't eat sugar. I won't eat carbs. I'll do great. But as soon as the holidays come around and then, there's not a lot for you to eat other than just turkey or just ham, it's like, you know. Yeah, she makes everything homemade too. She don't buy nothing from the store. Everything she makes, her and my daughter will sit in the kitchen and they will just bake and bake and bake and bake. You say, would you recommend changing the transmission fluid on a 2007 car with 95,000 miles? I think you'll be fine. I would change it. Yeah, but I think, Jeff, the consensus is everybody thinks if you eat a lot of meat, you're going to have some kind of cholesterol problem. You really don't have cholesterol problems until you start introducing fat into the diet with sugar. Your body can process proteins and fats very efficiently, natural fats and proteins. It's when you start taking sugars and putting it in your body that end up causing this inflammatory reaction. Then your body has to try to figure out what it's going to process and how it's going to do it. So you'll see a lot of people that they'll eat more of their proteins and stuff in the morning, and then at night they'll eat more of their sugary, starchy carbs, and they won't eat a lot of fat and protein with that, and they're completely fine. It's just a matter of how you engage your body and keeping everything separate, letting your body process things the way it needs to without it all being bunched up together. Intermittent fasting, my butt. I'm fasting on the regular nowadays. I agree with you. Intermittent fasting for me only works so much. If I fast for like a 48 to 72 hour period, I feel amazing. I get the trembles, but then I feel amazing. Once I make it to like day 4 or 5, I feel really good. It's like almost like a spiritual feeling. I made it to day 7 and then I caved before. But in 7 days, I lost like 29 pounds and I felt great. But I caved on day 7. I was in a stressful situation and I caved in. A lot of escape transmission shutter concerns. Yeah, 6F35 shutters, they shutter a lot. People don't service the transmissions enough. I'll do it if you want me to. I've done a lot of those manifolds. I don't even mind doing them anymore. The problem is I have to charge though. It says it's like a 4 or 5 hour job or something like that for both exhaust manifolds, but that's when they're brand new. It's like 4 or 5 hours aside by themselves. So to do both of them, it's like a 10-hour job. If the bolts break. If the bolts don't break, then you probably get them out for like 6.5, 7 hours, somewhere in there. Oh, the elk meat, so good. So So good. I would love to have elk meat. I'm gonna have to go upstairs and clean up for the holidays. Family's coming over tomorrow, and I'm gonna look like a freaking ogre lumberjack crawling out from underneath this bridge. GM taillight replacement, 5K from dealer. Yeah, I know some of the Ford taillights alone were like $1,500 to $2,000 a piece because of the LED, the circuit boards. Each one of them have their own computer now. I'd love to have moose too. All right. It's 9:52. I gotta get upstairs and I gotta clean up. I gotta shower. I gotta shave. I gotta try to trim some of this up just a little bit. And I'd love to stay on here and chit chat with you guys, but I'm gonna have to get up there and start cleaning up. If y'all need anything, you know how to find me. My email is in my information section on this channel. I did finally put it there, and I appreciate y'all. Be blessed, stay strong, keep your head on a swivel, prepare, stock food and stuff away, be sensible about it, prepare, prep. American, thank you for being here. Thank you to all the new people here. Thank you to the people that have been here. I love y'all. You guys make this happen. Channel's growing like crazy. The message is getting out. And people know we're watching. Big people in very serious, organized, influential leadership positions are watching. I've had a lot of people reach out to me saying, keep doing what you're doing. You're getting under the skin of the right people, and it's a good thing. Keep it up. So that's what we're gonna do. And just want to say, I love y'all. Be blessed. Thanks for being here. Why are you not a Night Toe? Okay, Night Toe, you're a moderator on the channel now. I didn't even know you weren't a moderator, so I just promoted you, buddy. Keep rolling. You're always here. Give a couple mod positions out. Keep rolling. You are now a moderator here. Proud Canadian moderator. And that's all we're doing right now. I don't want to flood it too much with moderators, but the little wrench mark next to people's names is moderator status. They get to kind of monitor what's going on with the chat and make sure that people don't get out of control. Quick wrench says they get the boot in silence, assholes. Oh, quick. It's not going to show your comment if you swear. It hides it for review. Normally when I do the whole moderator thing is I wait until I've seen somebody a long time that has been coming around for a long time before I make them a moderator. And these guys have been here for a long time. So I know what they're about because they're here all the time. Some of you are newer, but you'll have the opportunity too to be part of more part of the family, the monitoring side of the family. All right, guys, I'm out. I love you. Have a good night.
Peace out.